Hi. Okay, so you're seeing me not in the classroom, but rather in Moodle. And so this is always really kind of fun for me, okay? We want to talk about having you focus what the purpose of your research paper is really all about, okay? If you don't focus what you're doing in a research paper, you get stuff that's just all over the place. What's important is relatively early on, where we are now, you focus clearly as to what you really want to say in the sense of what direction you're really going to go in your research paper, okay? So, what we're talking about today actually is creating a statement of thesis, a statement of topic for your research paper so that you can guide your reader right from the beginning in the direction that you want them to be going, in the sense that you can let them know what it is you're going to be talking about, okay? And it's critical that you do this early on in your paper. It's critical that you attempt to do this early on in your research, because once you can put into writing what it is what your goal is, where you're trying to get to, what you hope to accomplish through your research paper, then you know where you need to do research. Until that time, it's very easy to have your research be like this, all over the place, okay? Pointing in, as you can see from my two hands, 10 different directions. You don't want to be pointing in 10 different directions. In a certain sense, you want the whole thing to be funneling down into one direction, okay? So writing a thesis statement, a statement of purpose, is really critical early on so that you know what you want to research, okay? So, how do we go about that? Typically, the opening paragraph or two of a research paper gives you some background information. Lets the reader know a little bit about some general background, okay? Just to kind of fill them in general. Remember in the beginning I told you to do some general background reading? Well, okay, so some of that general background reading might appear in this first paragraph or first couple of paragraphs in your paper. So most of this will be coming right out of here. You probably won't research what goes into your first couple of paragraphs because you've done some background reading, you've gained a little bit of information, and so this is how you give the background idea of your paper. Your textbook gives us a little bit of information on form a working thesis, okay? Starting in your textbook on page 435, there's a little bit of information on forming a working thesis. It goes 435, 436, and then 437 says use sources to inform and support your argument. On the bottom of 436, it says organize your ideas. This is what you're doing right now. You're forcing yourself to think more concisely, because until now, in general, you've been just kind of looking. We did talk about limiting, so you shouldn't be all over the place anymore. But even so, this causes you to focus, to funnel down so that your research goes this way instead of this way. Okay? Hopefully you understand what I mean. So let me give you a quick example of a thesis statement just coming off the top of my head. Okay? Something like this. You might start out with, for centuries, man has used tobacco in a number of ways. He has rolled it into cigars. He has cut it up and rolled it in paper into cigarettes. He has chewed it, okay? I don't know what else you do with tobacco, but anyway, you get the idea. We're giving you some general background information. Early on in the development of the colonies here in America, tobacco was a huge crop in the agriculture of the South. Okay? So mankind has used tobacco for centuries in a whole lot of ways. For probably 3/4 of a century, we've been pretty aware that using tobacco is not really a positive thing for us. How can I say this? Exploring the dangers of tobacco use and its negative effects on human beings is a question worth considering. Okay, so something like that lets the reader know that you would be writing about the use of tobacco and what its negative effects are. Okay, that's giving general background information. And again, it was right off the top of my head. I didn't have something to read to you, so you were getting it as I thought of it. But that's what you need to do now. Okay, so here's how you do that. You should already have approximately 20 information cards, idea cards, okay? You should have approximately 20 because you were supposed to have 10 for last week. And then on Wednesday, I told you to have another 10 before today, okay? So what you want to do is you want to read through all of those, okay? You want to see what direction your work is pointing you in. You also should have some idea where you want to go, because it's hard to do research if you don't have some idea where you want to go. But you want to read through all of those and kind of see the direction that your research is pointing you. And then I want you to go about writing an opening paragraph or two in which you state what it is you want your research paper to be about. Okay? Now, what you want to do is be relatively direct about it. You are filling in background information, so you don't want to get diarrhea of the pen and just go crazy writing all of this stuff. But you want to give some background information for your topic, and then try to focus it into where you think you're going to go. Okay, and then I'm going to put an assignment here on Moodle, and the assignment is going to be for you to post your thesis statement. Okay, and it's easy on there. You'll see assignment at the bottom of the page where this information is about the thesis statement. So you're going to post your thesis statement, because when you press on that assignment, when you put your arrow on that assignment and press on it, it'll take you over to the assignment. And then underneath there, it'll say add discussion. Your name, give you the opportunity to write your thesis statement. Okay? Then what I want you to do is so post your thesis statement by, let's say, Monday, okay? Let's see, that would be the 18th, okay? So post your thesis statement by Monday the 18th, and then Monday night or Tuesday, go back in there and read what at least 2 other students have done, and give a quick reaction. That way you'll see what other students are saying in their thesis statement, and that may help you with yours. And you can read some of the others even before you post your own. That's okay. It'll gear you in the right direction. But also, it'll give students feedback on what you think about their thesis statement. And the important thing when you make comments is this. Do you know where that person's research paper is going to go? Okay? Are you aware of where that person's research paper is going? If you are not aware, then say so. Say this thesis statement or opening paragraph or statement of purpose, this confused me, or I know where you're going, and then say, this is where it looks to me like where you're going. Okay? So just a couple of sentences in reaction to the thesis statements of at least 2 other students. So this is a 2-part assignment. Also, I want you to bring your thesis statements to class next week, Wednesday, on paper. Bring them on paper, okay? Because we will discuss what you've done in your thesis statements. Questions? You know where to get me. Thanks for hopping into Moodle, and have a good weekend.